Hi everyone. So I have a really fun project to share with you today. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a haunted house shaped Halloween card using Honeybee Stamp's new house builder die set and haunted house add-on. So this is going to be a card that we make completely out of die cuts with minimal coloring. So to get started, I cut out the house and the roof using this Harvest Festival pattern paper by Honeybee Stamps. I just love this textured pattern paper. It's kind of like an off-white color. I thought it would be great for the base of our haunted house. And to make it look extra dirty and haunted, I thought it would be fun to add some vintage photo distress oxide ink to the sides of the house. And then also a little bit of black soot distress oxide ink around the edges, because we really want to give the effect that this is an old house that hasn't been cared for in a while. Perhaps it's deserted and there's just all kinds of spookiness going on around it. I'm also going to add some black soot distress oxide ink to the sides and the top of the roof, just to kind of keep going with that spooky haunted theme for this house. Next, I'm going to take my Distress Oxide ink in black soot and put it on an acrylic block and then add some water. And I'm doing this so that I have a little bit of paint to make some paint spatters on the front of my house. I just thought that this would help with the overall spooky effect if we added some like dark gray or black specks to the back. Almost kind of looks like it could be mold or dirt or I don't know what on the house. I'm also going to add it to the roof as well. And that looks good to me. So now I am going to put this entire house panel onto a piece of black cardstock, and I also use the die to cut out the black so that everything is the right size. And I also use the dies in the Haunted House add-on to cut out the windows. And now I'm just placing our roof onto a piece of cardstock just so that it's a little bit heavier, because we are going to prop it up on some foam tape, and I wanted to make sure that all of our pieces are sturdy. I'm working on the inside of the card now, and we're going to stamp it with a Happy Halloween greeting from another Honeybee stamp set. I'll put it in the items below the video. And I use some black Versamark ink for that. And now this is so cool. So Honeybee Stamps includes this little piece that you can die cut if you want to make a haunted house shaped card. So if you want to make a haunted house shaped card, what you do is you would cut out 2 extra haunted house bases and then this die cut. And then you'd add the adhesive, and this is 1/4 of an inch adhesive on each side, and then place it on both sides or on both pieces of your house base. And now you have a nice top folding card base to put your house on later. So now we've got this great haunted house shaped card, which I just love. And these are all the pieces. I'm just showing you how I store my house builder and my haunted house add-on. I have this really large 8x11 piece of magnetic backing, and it's very strong, and I just put all of my pieces there so that I don't lose them and they're all where I need them. And I'm just showing you what the roof die looks like here. And then we have our little ghost and our little tree and our fence, and we're going to be using those as well in a moment. So I cut all of our little die cut decorations out off camera just to save some time, and now I'm just gonna spice them up a little bit. So with this tree, I'm just taking some of the Distress Oxide inks that we used on the house earlier to add a little bit of shadowing on the tree. This is the fence that we're going to include on either side of the house, and because I wanted it to stand up from the house itself, I thought it would be a good idea to die cut several of them and layer them together. So for both fences that we're going to add, I just added 3 layers of cardstock just to help with the dimensionality for the card, and to make sure that that little fence is going to stick up from our card base. So I'm just using some tape runner for this. You could also use liquid adhesive if that's what you're more comfortable with. It would probably be neater to use the liquid adhesive. I find I get all little nuggets of glue when I use my tape runner, but I do love it so much because it is fast. Now I'm going to work on this little top window on our haunted house, And I just added my shading the same way we did with the base of the house. And now I'm going to attach our window to the back piece. And I thought for the roof, it would be nice to have it just all black. So I used some black cardstock for that. I'm popping up the entire roof on one layer of foam tape. And I'm making sure to have the foam tape coat the entire back of the roof just to make sure that the card is nice and sturdy and that it doesn't end up getting lumpy. Sometimes if you don't use enough dimensional tape, your piece can end up looking lumpy. So I thought that this was such a pretty card. I wanted to make sure it was all nice and clean and not lumpy. Okay, so for the door, this door comes from the Haunted House add-on. And I just cut that out of some dark brown cardstock, and then I put the black soot around the edges just to add some shading and some spookiness to that. And then I'm just going to attach it in the center right in between those windows. And then we have this little awning for our door, and I cut out 2 of them to layer one on top of the other, and then I'm just going to pop that right on top of the door frame. It pops in perfectly. And then we have this nice little dimensional awning on top of our door. For the tree, I just put tape on the bottom part of the trunk. I want to leave the branches a little bit loose so that they can move a little bit. And so I can stick some little ghosts and whatnot like in between the branches. These are the steps. And I put some Distress Oxide ink on the steps just to make them look a little dirty. We also have these boards that I cut out from the Haunted House add-on, and we're going to board up 2 of our windows, and I'm using some medium brown cardstock here and then some light brown cardstock for the boards on the top. I just thought it was a nice look to have 2 different shades of brown for the boards on our windows. And for that bottom window, I'm just putting 2 layers of boards there, just to give a little bit of dimension. And because my first set of boards, it looks like it must have moved on my die cutting machine and I didn't get a clean impression on that. For our little jack-o'-lantern, I'm going to put a piece of black cardstock behind it just to fill in the face. And I'm going to do the same thing for these ghosts here so that there's black behind the eyes and the mouth. We're going to add a little Halloween wreath to our door. So even though this house hasn't been cared for in a while, Halloween is still important to the otherworldly inhabitants. So they like to decorate every Halloween. And this wreath is included in the house builder die. So I just cut 1 wreath ring out of silver cardstock and then 1 out of black glitter cardstock. And I just put an acrylic block on top just to make sure the glue sets. And then here is our fence that we worked on before that has 3 layers of cardstock. And I'm just going to attach that with some liquid adhesive. And I use liquid adhesive here just because I wanted to make sure that that the fence sticks well and won't come up later on, which it could do with the tape runner. Now, this is some Boo to You confetti. This is probably my favorite confetti of the season. I love those spider webs. We have some little skulls in there, some jack-o'-lanterns, and some stars, and we're going to use a bunch of that on our card to decorate. So I'm putting spider webs on the top right side of our house and then kind of coming out underneath the roof on the left-hand side. And I use my tape runner for that, and as you can see, I got a little bit of goopy tape on the outside, so I'm just coloring that in with a black marker, just so that it looks nice and black. And then I also put a little spider web on that top window. These are some little leaves that come in the House Builder main kit or main die set, and I just put those around the wreath. And I added a couple of bats to our roof, and then we're going to have some ghosts peeking out of the windows. These little ghosts are from the Haunted House add-on. And I just love that little ghost who's peeking out from the boards. And I thought to finish it off, it would be really cute to put a little skull on top of those boards on the bottom window, so it looks like a little skull and crossbones. Like, if there isn't a clearer message, keep out, I don't know what is. And now I'm just putting on this tiny little door handle that is included in the House Builder die set. And I just used my little picker tool to make sure that I arranged it perfectly. And now I cut out some, I thought these were stars. This was included in the House Builder set, but they are little flowers. But I still thought that it'd be a cute little decoration for our fence. Just help brighten up the scene a little bit since it is kind of dark. So I'm just attaching 3 on either side with my multimedia matte adhesive. And now we get to put everything together. So here is the card base that we had made before. And now I'm just going to attach our house right on top of that. And as you can see, everything fits perfectly. And so there is our Halloween card. So it says Happy Halloween on the inside. And on the outside, we have this adorable haunted house. And for one last finishing touch, I'm just going to take some liquid mercury Nuvo drops and just fill in the little bolts on the board. So it looks like there are nails kind of sticking out of the ends of the boards. And that is going to do it. So that is my card for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you give this project a try. It's so much fun. I will even show you another version that I had made off screen using also some other pattern paper in the Honeybee Stamps Harvest Festival pattern paper. And that is this version right here. And I just love that that pattern paper that makes up the house. It just looks like an old stone building that's kind of moldy, kind of old, and I think it just works perfectly. So I'm also here, I'm showing you that you can fit this into an A2 size envelope, the entire house. So you just kind of put it in like that, then close up your envelope. You will need extra postage with all of the foam tape on this design, but it's definitely worth it. Thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. I will see you again soon in the next video. Have a great day.